Years ago, in my early 20s, I took a job in the suburbs, over 20 miles from my downtown apartment. Despite the lengthy commute, I loved the cool neighborhood and considered it worth the drive. One night, on my way home from work, I decided to stop at a used record store in a strip mall near my workplace. I had a crush on my hipsterish neighbor, an avid collector of old jazz vinyl. Hoping to find something to impress him, I browsed the store. While perusing the aisles, I noticed a gray-haired man in the next aisle, smiling at me with an intensity that made me uneasy. Despite his forced smile, I continued browsing. However, I couldn't shake the feeling as he positioned himself across from me in each aisle, clearly attempting to flirt. Uninterested and somewhat creeped out, I asked the staff for assistance with the jazz section. Making my selection, I glanced around the store to ensure the man wasn't lurking. Luckily, he had left. As I walked out to the parking lot, I got into my car, waiting for a break in traffic to exit onto the busy boulevard. While waiting, I happened to notice a car leaving the parking lot behind me with a burnt-out headlight. It wasn't unusual, but it caught my attention. The drive home was long, but mostly straightforward along the bustling thoroughfare. A few miles into the journey, I once again noticed a car behind me with a single headlight. Was it the same car? As I drove, the nagging feeling in the pit of my stomach persisted, urging me to watch my rearview mirror. The car with one headlight remained behind me, unusual given the distance we had traveled. Trying to focus on the music and dinner plans, I couldn't shake the uneasy feeling. As I neared an Arby's a couple of miles from my house, I decided to stop for fast food. Preoccupied with planning my outfit for when I gave the LP to my neighbor, I kept glancing at the rearview mirror. The car with one headlight changed lanes, slowed, and turned onto the street behind me. Suspecting I was being followed, I continued in the left lane, switching to the right lane just before the Arby's turnoff. As I made my turn, I glanced back, catching a brief glimpse of the gold sedan passing down the street. Relieved, I proceeded to the drive-thru for my dinner order. Navigating through the parking lot, designed to exit through a supermarket strip mall, I had to double back toward the main thoroughfare. Waiting for my green turn arrow, I noticed a flash of light in my rearview mirror. Glancing up, I saw a car pulling up in the turn lane behind me with a single headlight. Panic set in. I locked my doors, turned off the radio, and pulled away as fast as I could, speeding toward the boulevard. The single headlight turned to follow. Certain I was being followed, I desperately tried to recall the location of the nearest police station. Unable to see the license plate, I couldn't call for help. Approaching the fire station, I decided to head there, hoping for safety. The car remained behind on side streets, hanging back. I approached the fire station, which, disappointingly, wasn't as well lit as I'd hoped. Doubting the closed doors would provide safety, I abandoned the fire station idea, heading back to the main road with lots of traffic. Just before reaching the boulevard, the car slowly approached from behind. Desperate, I swerved from the right lane to the left turn lane, causing the car to stop in the middle of the road. The driver, now beside me, was the gray-haired man with a big, creepy smile. Horrified, I refused to roll down my window. He shouted, claiming we had a connection back at the record store, asking if he could buy me a cup of coffee. I vehemently mouthed no, turning left. Convinced he didn't follow me nearly 20 miles for coffee, I doubled back through side streets to the fire station. Honking until someone came out, I felt a sense of relief. The firefighters called the police, who then escorted me home. To this day, I wonder what would have happened if the man's headlight hadn't been burnt out. Would I have noticed him following me, or would I have driven straight home, unaware of the danger lurking behind me? As I reflected on that terrifying night, my mind played out countless what-if scenarios. What if the burnt-out headlight hadn't caught my attention? What if the man had successfully masked his intentions and followed me all the way home, unseen? It sent shivers down my spine. The incident left me on edge, my senses heightened at every turn. Even the routine drive to work became an exercise in paranoia. I started taking different routes, glancing over my shoulder at every stoplight, half expecting to see that gray-haired man's unsettling smile lurking in the shadows. Weeks passed, and my anxiety began to wane. Life returned to a semblance of normalcy. But the experience lingered in my thoughts like a haunting melody. Late one night, unable to sleep, I found myself browsing through news articles online. That's when I stumbled upon a chilling discovery. A series of incidents had occurred in the city over the past few months. Reports detailed a mysterious figure following young women, each encounter more ominous than the last. The descriptions matched the man I encountered, right down to the forced smile and unsettling intensity in his eyes. My heart raced as I read about his escalating behavior, from seemingly harmless encounters to more aggressive pursuits. It was clear that this man was no ordinary stalker. Authorities were urging the public to remain vigilant and report any sightings immediately. Fueled by a mix of fear and determination, I contacted the police and shared my harrowing experience. They assured me that they were actively investigating the case, piecing together a puzzle that seemed to grow darker with each passing day. The months that followed were a blur of police interviews, identifications, and courtroom proceedings. As it turned out, the man had been involved in a string of criminal activities, preying on unsuspecting victims. My testimony played a crucial role in building a case against him, leading to his eventual incarceration. Yet, even behind bars, his presence continued to cast a shadow over my life. The fear of retribution lingered, an invisible weight on my shoulders. The once mundane act of driving became a constant reminder of the thin line between safety and danger. As I cautiously navigated the city's streets, a new reality set in. The world, once familiar and comforting, now held secrets and shadows. Every encounter with a stranger carried an air of suspicion, and the gray-haired man's face haunted my dreams. Though time passed, the scars of that night remained etched in my memory. The suburbs, once a haven, now harbored hidden terrors. The distance between my apartment and the outskirts of the city felt like an endless expanse. Each mile a reminder of the horrors that could lurk in the most unexpected places. To this day, I tread cautiously, forever changed by the encounter with the man with the burnt-out headlight. The suburbs may have seemed idyllic, but beneath the surface, a darkness that left an indelible mark on my soul. And as the night falls, I can't help but wonder if the shadows still hold secrets, waiting to be unveiled. It was a chilling night, either in 2009 or 2010, during my first or second year of college. I had returned home for the weekend, visiting my now ex-boyfriend. Our rendezvous usually stretched into the late hours of the night, and my parents insisted I be home by 2 a.m. Being in college, I begrudgingly abided by their rules, their house, their rules. Before I delve into the spine-chilling encounter, let me set the stage. My hometown nestled in the heart of a tiny Midwestern town. The county I hailed from was renowned more as a vacation haven than the town itself. A unique blend of farmland, state parks, and quaint towns filled with galleries, boutiques, and upscale restaurants. It was a seemingly safe haven. This incident occurred on my way back home, a journey that meandered through small towns, woods, and farmlands, avoiding the bustling highway for more familiar back roads. The drive, Typically a serene 20-minute journey became ominous as I approached the intersection of back roads and the county road leading to my home. It was here that the ordinary night took a sinister turn. Stopped at a desolate stop sign, waiting to turn right onto my county road, I observed a vehicle approaching from the left. On a night, I made it challenging to gauge its speed accurately. This ominous vehicle, a menacing truck, lacked any discernible intention. It didn't have its blinker on, but it seemed to be slowing down. I hesitated, contemplating whether it would turn onto the road I was on. The truck came to an abrupt stop, shrouded in an eerie silence. It became apparent it wasn't turning. It was waiting for me. Feeling the pulse of anxiety quicken, I made a swift decision to pull onto my road. The speed limit, a daunting 55 mph, did little to assuage my growing unease. The haunting realization struck me I had no plan for when I reached my house. Panic set in as my driveway approached. I hastily turned into it, parked in front of the garage, and killed the engine. The urgency was palpable as I sprinted into the garage, locked the door behind me, and fumbled into the house. Once inside, I headed straight for the window-laden room that overlooked the road and driveway. What I witnessed sent shivers down my spine. Headlights pierced the darkness, the truck executing a sinister turnaround in my driveway, retracing its path into the night. The air hung heavy with dread as I pondered the unsettling question who or what had been lurking in the shadows, tailing me through those desolate roads. To this day, the mystery remains, leaving a lingering sense of fear in the air, forever connected to those haunted back roads. The night cast its ominous shadows, and the echoes of that chilling encounter lingered like a ghostly presence. Days turned into nights, yet the sense of unease persisted, a constant reminder of the eerie incident on those haunting back roads. Curiosity and apprehension fused within me, urging me to investigate further. I began to question whether this was an isolated incident or part of something more sinister. As the weeks unfolded, I found myself gripped by an unsettling paranoia, always glancing over my shoulder, wondering if the truck or its unseen driver lurked in the periphery. The small Midwestern town, once familiar and comforting, now felt like a labyrinth of hidden dangers. Every creak in the house, every rustle of leaves outside, seemed to carry the weight of an impending threat. The safety I once took for granted, transformed into an illusion, shattered by the ominous presence that had invaded my world. Nightmares haunted my sleep, mirroring the uncertainty embedded in my waking hours. Visions of the sinister truck chasing me through winding roads, its headlights piercing the darkness like malevolent eyes, became a recurring theme. Each night, the line between dreams and reality blurred, leaving me in a perpetual state of dread. In my quest for answers, I delved into local legends and whispered tales that hinted at a darker side to the seemingly tranquil county. Stories of mysterious disappearances, unexplained phenomena, and encounters with the supernatural unfolded before me, like a sinister tapestry. It was as if the town held its secrets close, only revealing them to those who dared to venture into the shadows. As the seasons changed, so did the atmosphere, yet the sense of foreboding remained steadfast. The once vibrant fall colors now appeared muted, as if nature itself mourned the secrets buried beneath the soil. The town's residents, oblivious to the sinister undercurrents, carried on with their lives, unknowingly contributing to the collective unease that permeated the air. With each passing day, my determination to uncover the truth intensified. I sought solace in the company of those who had experienced the inexplicable, exchanging stories of the supernatural and unexplained. Whispers of a spectral truck, a harbinger of doom, became a recurring motif in these tales, linking my experience to a larger, more malevolent force that seemed to have taken root in the heart of the town. One fateful night, drawn by an inexplicable force, I found myself retracing the path of that haunting drive. The moon cast an eerie glow on the deserted back roads as I approached the intersection where the encounter had unfolded. The air crackled with an otherworldly energy, and a cold wind whispered secrets that sent shivers down my spine. As I stood at the crossroads, a faint glimmer of headlights flickered in the distance. The spectral truck materialized, its ominous presence weaving through the shadows. Panic seized me, but an unrelenting curiosity kept me rooted to the spot. The truck rumbled past, its driver concealed in the impenetrable darkness. In that moment, I realized the chilling truth. The encounter on those back roads had marked me as a witness to something beyond the realm of reason. The truck, a spectral manifestation, served as a harbinger of the town's darkest secrets. As it vanished into the night, leaving only echoes of its haunting engine, I grappled with the realization that some mysteries were never meant to be unraveled. The small Midwestern town, once a haven, had become a nexus of the supernatural, and I, an unwitting participant in a tale that transcended the boundaries of the living and the dead. The ghostly echoes of that ominous night would forever reverberate through the corridors of my mind, a reminder that some encounters leave an indelible mark on the soul, casting a shadow that stretches far beyond the edges of reality. I've been working as a delivery driver for Uber Eats for the past year, a side gig to make some extra money. Despite the not-so-ideal pay, especially during late-night shifts, I find the job generally relaxed. Most orders after 10 p.m. involve fast food, where the chances of receiving tips are even lower. Late-night deliveries aren't usually lucrative, but on a particular night last year, things took an unexpected turn. There was a bonus in play: complete 15 deliveries within a specific time frame to earn an extra $75. The prospect of the bonus was music to my ears. Late-night deliveries could be advantageous due to minimal traffic, and it didn't matter where I picked up from. The faster I completed them, the sooner I could go home and call it a night. I finished my last delivery at 2:30 in the morning, claimed the bonus, and decided to call it a night. For context, this happened in downtown San Diego. While the core has vibrant restaurants and clubs, venturing beyond 16th Street leads to a more dubious area. Homeless camps abound, and the atmosphere gets increasingly sketchy. Despite my efforts to avoid this part of town, I had to pass through it to reach the freeway and head home. Now, my ride was a 2002 Ford Focus, not exactly a top-tier vehicle. To roll the windows up or down, I had to reach over and crank the lever manually. Given the hassle, I usually kept both windows rolled down during deliveries, making it easier to pick up and drop off orders. On this night, with my windows down as usual, I intended to roll them up before passing 16th Street and its homeless camp. However, fate had other plans. Turning down a side street towards the main road, I noticed a man in an orange reflective construction vest standing on the roadside. Construction at night was common downtown, so I initially paid little attention. As I approached, the man ran into the street, waving his arms to signal a stop. I began to slow down, expecting him to direct traffic or reroute me. The unease set in when he jogged towards my car and stopped directly in front of it, blocking any forward movement. It was 3:00 a.m., pitch dark, and not a soul in sight except for this man. Panic crept in. My windows should have been up. This man, wearing a hard hat and a vest, sported the creepiest smile I'd ever seen. His eyes were wild, and his grin extended unnaturally, akin to Twisty from American Horror Story. The realization hit me a few seconds too late. He wasn't a construction worker. Frozen in terror, I contemplated reversing, but fear paralyzed me. My mind raced with thoughts of impending danger. This was how it all ended for me. The man, not uttering a word, leered and, like a silent ninja, leapt onto the hood of my car. His fists pounded on the hood, and he crawled around on hands and knees, maintaining unbroken eye contact. The terror reached its peak when he never stopped grinning. My open windows nauseated me, but closing them felt scarier. Any sudden move might provoke him to enter the car. Though the encounter probably lasted 15 seconds, it felt like an eternity. Just as I was about to succumb to panic, headlights appeared in my rearview mirror. The man noticed too, jumped out of my car, and bolted behind me toward the approaching vehicle. Without a second thought, I floored it, not daring to look back until I was halfway home on the freeway. Adrenaline fueled my drive for a long time after that. I swore off delivering at night, especially avoiding that downtown section. I took the longer route home, and windows remained up, even in mildly run-down areas. The incident taught me the naivety of trusting someone solely based on a uniform. The unsettling question lingered. Why was this guy dressed as a road worker, behaving in a way that initially suggested trustworthiness, only to instill fear?